here we go. Bob and I went back to Wengen. If you remember from one of my previous episodes, or if you don't, I'll put up some pictures of Bob's house in Wengen, or at least the view from Bob's house in Wengen. It was just above the town of Wengen, about a 15-minute walk through the woods to get there. Wengen itself is a very small tourist town, very popular destination for skiing in the winter as well as hiking in the summertime. We were there in the summertime, so which is considered the low season. There are still tourists coming. There are no cars in the city. There's no police station. It's a very small community that does have tourists where everyone knows each other. This is a place that my Uncle Bob has lived in and out of his life for various periods of time, doing different odd jobs, and he has this gorgeous location that we helped him move to, where we would play the radio, cook these fantastic feasts together. Bob taught me how to cook, largely in Wengen. In fact, the cooking that I do today, and cooking is actually one of my favorite activities of my day and week. And I go all the way back to the lessons that I learned from Bob, how to peel vegetables, how to not follow a recipe, but follow one's palate, one's taste, and one's inspiration. Bob was an artist in the kitchen, not a scientist, if that makes sense. So we're here in Wengen, and my Aunt Rose is there, and we're having a nice time. And of course, Bob and I decide it's a good idea to go out, bid my Aunt Rose good night, and go make our way. And one of the first destinations, now I should say this, we were always looking for the action, but there's not necessarily enough people in Wengen at this time to have a lot of action on a weekday night. So it was really a matter of checking all the different bars to find where we would find people in order to have a good time. One of the first places we stopped was an outdoor, well, it was a pizza restaurant that had a nice outdoor area. Me and my Uncle Bob were already drinking cans of beer, tall cans of beer, walking through the woods from his house. So we're already a little tipsy. We've finished a couple tall cans, and we place the tall cans on the wall of the restaurant, sit down in the outdoor area. A waitress, I think she was from Israel, I think there were some Israeli seasonal workers there, takes our order, and we order some Stanges of beer. Stange is like a glass of beer in Switzerland, glass of draft beer. So we're drinking our Stanges after already saving some money by pre-flighting and getting some tall cans of beer in before. We're feeling good. The start of a good night. Aunt Rose is holding the fort back at their house. Me and Bob are ready to find whatever action there will be in Wengen, although there's never a guarantee that we will find some. So we're drinking our Stanges of beer, and I don't know, there's something that happens when you're with certain people that, with certain people you become sort of very nice and considerate. With certain people you become a little more mischievous. Think of yourself with your best friend versus with your wife or with your children or at your job. We take on all of these various roles, and for whatever reason, when I'm with my Uncle Bob, I get a little mischievous. And I said, Bob, after we were ready to move on to our location, I said, Bob, let's run. And in my head, I was joking. I was sort of testing the water to see what he would do. And I didn't actually think he would do it, and he actually quickly jumped up. He quickly jumped up, hit the table, knocking all of the glasses. We had a couple rounds there, knocking all of the glasses on the table, shattering the glasses on the stone floor of this outside courtyard, little patio area, and runs. And in my head, what started off as a joke of like, Let's see what Bob will do if I say, let's run. Let's not pay for the drinks. Let's see what he'll do. Because he did that once with Paul and I once before. So this was going to be, let's see what Bob will do. And I mentioned I used to I played pranks with Bob a lot. I would hide his, I didn't say this, maybe not, but I would hide his wallet. I tried to trick him in the train that the conductor was coming. I tricked Paul about pretending I was the conductor and he lost his weed. I like to prank people, especially at that time. I didn't actually think or planned for this to happen. I just wanted to see what he would do. And when he jumped up, hit the table, and all of the glasses just shattered, and he took off, I didn't actually want to dine and dash. But now, I didn't want to be left with these broken glasses, and I don't speak the language, and my uncle's running down the street at this point, so I run after him. So we have now dined and dashed in a small community where there's no police, where everyone knows Bob, and they know his American nephew at this point. For the most part, they recognize me. And we've dined and dashed. And broken the glasses. And left the beer cans on the wall. Shameful behavior that I'm not proud of, and I do not condone it. Okay? It's just, this is part of my story. So I told you at the beginning of this entire series that I would be honest. Both the good and the bad. And I think I have tried to share some of the good, some of the happy moments, and some of the things that I'm proud of. But this is one of the things that I'm not necessarily proud of. But for whatever reason, even the things you're not proud of do become a funny story later on. All right. So we end up winding our way through various bars, and there's only a few bars, and everyone sort of goes to this underground bar where they have a pool table, and that's sort of like the late night spot that's open till 4 a.m. This is where I met Francesca in that one episode where I fell in love with this Swiss girl who had this magic, who blew open this fire as I got initiated into the Swiss version of the Boy Scouts, kidnapping these little kids and taking them to the fire. If you remember that episode, if you are not, click up above. And Francesca's going to come back in perhaps the next episode, and it's a sad story. So hold on for that. Anyways, Bob and I end up at this bar, and we're drinking with the locals. And all of a sudden, I see a very angry, middle-aged, portly, white guy with silver black hair come up to Bob, and he's very angry, very irate. And he starts scolding my uncle. Bob is the king of the room, laughing, joking, tickling girls, as he usually does. I'm having fun. Now I see Bob he's like on the back foot. You know, when someone's calling you out, he's on the back foot, and he points to me and he goes, "It was my nephew." But the guy doesn't scold me, he scolds Bob. I don't even know if he speaks English. Maybe he does. Maybe he did speak a little. And I came up, and basically, he was the manager of this pizza restaurant where we dined and dashed and broke the glasses. And he says to Bob, maybe he was speaking in English actually, because I remember these words. And he says, "And it's not enough that you didn't pay for your drinks and you broke the glasses, but you left the beer cans on the wall." Like that was the clincher of the disrespect that Bob paid to his establishment. An establishment where Bob has known the owners of these restaurants, has grown up with a lot of these people. So I guess this is the other side of fun, is that it's not always fun. And sometimes your fun comes at the expense of other people. And I would say that largely, to a large degree, some of my behavior with my Uncle Bob was in that vein. And so I am not proud of dining and dashing. I'm not proud of my behavior. It wasn't a mark of a good character. But it was hilarious, and there is something hilarious about mischievous behavior and this whole scene. And for me, the funniest part, and the part that bothered me at the time, now I laugh. See, at the time, this all bothered me. This all troubled me. I had scruples about it. Now I can laugh about it from a distance. The thing that bothered me at the time, and I laugh out now, was Bob saying it was his fault, pointing to my nephew. Now, it was technically, I instigated it by making the suggestion. Not about the beer cans on the wall. That wasn't my fault. And I didn't break the glasses. Bob broke the glasses by jumping up. I told you he's easy to startle. He jumped up so quickly, knocked the table, and the glasses broke. That was Bob's fault. Although I did instigate by making this suggestion that I wasn't actually serious. I just wanted to test the water like I tried to test Paul. And now you might be looking at me, Ryan. You are to blame, Ryan. And I take my blame. Yes, I had a part to it. But so did Bob. And when two thieves commit a crime, it's best that they not point fingers. It's best that they have a little solidarity. That's what I'm trying to say. Not that I'm innocent, just that Bob wasn't innocent either. And pointed his finger at his nephew, who doesn't even really have the deep ties to this community. Not that that necessarily excused me anymore, but come on. Anyways, I love my Uncle Bob. I love that I have this story to share with him. It was hilarious that we got so drunk. And I guess I'm going to leave it at that. This was a dine and dash story. I am not a dine and dasher now. It's the last thing that I would ever do. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll come back to the next episode and you're not so disgusted with our sins. Anyways, thank you for watching.